Love thy neighbor is easier said than done, especially when they're famous. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst celebrities to have as neighbors. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at famous and high-profile individuals who have been accused of being awful to the people they live near. Sometimes this is because they don't think about how others may be affected by what they're doing, but other times it's because they actively harm or upset their neighbors.
Deputies say Rose confronted Cantor in a hallway, threw her keys over his balcony, then hit her with the bottle.
Cantor called the sheriff's department, and paramedics took her to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center.
Number 10. Paris Hilton. In early 2007, the heiress was arrested and jailed for driving with a suspended license, much to the relief of her fellow Beverly Hills residents. After a slew of issues that come with having one of the paparazzi's favorite marks down the street, neighbors clubbed together to warn the local authorities about the noise and traffic from the various reporters that were likely to crowd the area when she was released. It's also been alleged that Paris mistreats the dogs she's seen to fawn over on screen, with neighbors complaining about the animals escaping the house, forcing them to chase and return the pets.
Are you addicted to buying dogs?
Yes, I love animals.
Number 9. Hulk Hogan. Like Paris Hilton, Hulk Hogan is another excessive animal lover, who also, like Paris, drew the ire of his Floridian neighbors in the 2000s. They complained to the police that the house was a verifiable zoo of pets and farm animals, all dating back to when he acquired a license to keep a rooster in 1999. By the time the cops showed up, they reportedly counted 5 chickens, 1 rooster, 6 dogs, 1 cat, bird cages, and a ferret. Despite being ordered various times to clean up his act, it seems like the persistent noise and smell continued for longer than anybody would like.
Why? Because the laws against animal fighting just aren't tough enough.
Number 8. Brandon Jones. Some suspected there was something sinister about this Pretty Little Liars actor, and they might have been right. In early 2017, Jones pleaded no contest to a count of assault after pulling a gun on one of his neighbors the previous year.
Well, I wasn't going to quite put it like that.
Yeah, well, nobody ever does.
Through his rep, he claimed that he and his girlfriend felt under threat, but this clearly wasn't a good enough reason for the authorities, as he was sentenced to 180 days in jail, 3 years of probation, 30 days of community labor, and 26 anger management classes. However, considering he was originally facing 5 years in prison, the fact that he took this plea deal makes sense.
What happened? Are you okay?
Number 7. Natalie Suleman, also known as Octomom. Motherhood brought her fame, but it's made her infamous at home where her 14 children have been causing chaos in her small California neighborhood. According to locals, Suleman fails to discipline or watch her kids properly, leaving them screaming at all hours of the night while she focuses on taking care of the octuplets rather than the 6th eldest. To make matters worse, it's hard for the neighbors not just to live there, but also to try and move away. Realtors have to disclose to potential buyers that Octomom lives nearby, which decreases property values and makes it difficult for anybody to leave.
Hey, you! Hey, baby! Get off my lawn!
Number 6. FleshnBone. In the late 1990s, a case was being built against one Stanley House for an illegal fireworks display, and one of his neighbors was set to be a witness to testify about what had happened. This was enough to push FleshnBone over the edge, and he was arrested by police, threatening him. Just a few days earlier, he'd been charged for firing an assault rifle after gunshots were reported. When his family home was searched following the investigation of a bomb squad, they found an AK-47, dynamite, and some firecrackers. In the end, House spent 8 years in prison after being charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Number 5. Ivanka Trump. When President Trump's daughter and her family moved to an elite area of Washington, D.C., none of the residents knew what to expect, but she's since been accused of ruining the neighborhood. With the first family always potentially in danger, the Secret Service flocking to the area and taking up parking spots supposed to belong to residents has caused great dismay. While locals initially welcomed the Trump Kushners to the area, the lack of response and ensuing media circus left them infuriated. Worse, the family is also accused of leaving garbage bags on the curb for days before it gets collected. Number 4. The Kardashians. Reality TV's most famous family are constantly stirring up controversy. In 2015, Khloe launched an elaborate firework display at midnight without warning neighbors beforehand or even getting a permit from the city.
There's a certain arrogance that goes along with, well, this is who we are and we don't care what anybody else thinks. I don't care about the Kardashians.
In response, 12 homeowners decided to sue her for $7,500 in damages each. If that wasn't enough, Kim and Kanye have also upset neighbors elsewhere with the loud and lengthy renovations of their Bel Air mansion, as well as the general frustration of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians camera crew constantly hanging around the area. Number 3. Chris Brown. He's no stranger to controversy and scandal, so it's perhaps not that surprising that Chris Brown's neighbors are also affected by his bad behavior. In fact, by 2016, his neighbors resorted to begging the rapper to leave the area so that they can have some peace. He reportedly drives his ATV up and down the street, has his friends over to play with his fast cars at all hours of the night, and the police are constantly called. However, he drew the most attention after a 2016 incident where the police waited for him outside for 11 hours after there were claims he threatened a woman with a gun in his home.
Did you think that he would pull the trigger?
I thought he was going to shoot me.
Number 2. Justin Bieber. He's drawn more hate and contention than many other celebrities, and it's not always without good reason. In 2014, Bieber egged neighbor Jeffrey Schwartz's house late one night, but rather than pay for the damages right away, the case became long and drawn out, lasting for years. Justin missed 5 depositions in a row, and Schwartz eventually claimed that he and his family were also threatened and harassed, including with anti-Semitic insults. Schwartz said in 2017 that $1 million is a more appropriate sum for all the trauma caused, though Justin has already paid out almost $90,000 for the damages.
I don't have to listen to anything you have to say.
Number 1. Jake Paul. This YouTube star garnered mainstream media attention after burning furniture in his pool, and it was an infamous 2017 interview with local news station KTLA that showed the true extent of this hell on earth. With dozens of Paulers camped outside, he also climbed on top of the news van and mocked the reporter's shoes.
We used to be a really nice, quiet street, and now we're just this, war zone.
After some residents planned on bringing a class action lawsuit against him, Jake accused his neighbors of attempted murder, claiming that their van had issues and had to be towed. Also in 2017, his equally controversial brother Logan bought a mansion where he planned to throw awesome rager parties. Only time will tell if his neighbors will hate him too.
No, I feel bad for them, for sure. There's nothing we could do though. The Jake Paulers are the strongest army out there, damn.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.